evening friends, this is your host Naresh from Autocars India bringing you live action for Mexican Grand Prix weekend race day here. It was a great Saturday yesterday when Sebastian Vettel gets his 50th pole position, and what a lap he put it yesterday afternoon. It was such a wonderful Saturday we had. You cannot have a better start of the race Grand Prix weekend than this Mexico, where driver championship is up for offing and Lewis Hamilton would ideally like to finish the championship with a race win. However, that doesn't seem to be happening here now because Sebastian Vettel is on pole. This is Mexican Grand Prix coming live commentary from Autocars India. This is your host Naresh bringing you live commentary here. Quickly give you brief about the circuit. Mexico, this circuit has come in picture from 1963 with number of laps 71, circuit length 4.304 km, race distance 305.3 kilometers. Lap record sits with 1 minute 20.521 seconds with Nico Rosberg set in 2015. 17 corners, fast flowing circuit, speeds in excess of 350 km per hour. One of the highest circuits on Formula 1 calendar. 2,229 meters above the sea level. Can you have a better weekend than this? No, you cannot have. Quickly give you the driver starting lineup. Remember, we had some of the penalties which are to be given to the drivers. To give you the starting lineup, Sebastian Vettel will start on the pole as he got yesterday with such a great last lap in the Q3. For Ferrari, Max Verstappen starts alongside him for Red Bull Racing, second position. P3 for Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes AMG, looking for the fourth driver title to be wrapped up this weekend if he finishes 5th or above. Valtteri Bottas alongside him starts 4th, Kimi Raikkonen starts 5th in Ferrari, alongside him is Esteban Ocon for Force India starts 6th, Nico Hülkenberg for Renault starts 7th, Carlos Sainz starts 8th in Renault alongside him, Sergio Perez starts 9th alongside Felipe Massa of Williams in 10th position, Lance Stroll of Williams starts 11th, Marcus Ericsson Sauber starts 12th, Pascal Wehrlein Sauber starts 13th, Kevin Magnussen starts 14th in Haas, Roman Grosjean in Haas starts 15th. Rest of the drivers with penalties as Daniel Ricciardo goes with penalty of 20 places. Daniel Ricciardo for Red Bull Racing starts 6th on the grid, but with the penalties he'll be starting 16th. Brendan Hartley for Scuderia Toro Rosso starts 17th. Fernando Alonso in McLaren also with penalties starts 18th. With 19th position for Stoffel Vandoorne, McLaren in 19th position. And the final driver is Pierre Gasly for Toro Rosso, starts 20th last. As drivers parade has got over and drivers are beginning to make their way back to their cars, which are still being checked over there by the teams of mechanics. It's worth saying that many drivers are very worried about the reliability today with the low air density present at this high altitude venue presenting the teams with big brake and engine cooling issues. We already have seen Toro Rosso and Red Bull suffering from these issues as engines have blown off in both the Toro Rosso cars, and Red Bull, Daniel Ricciardo also has to go for engine change. Will we see any other high profile retirements today? Big question to answer. We'll see as the race unfolds here. Also special day for Sergio Perez as he contests in this Grand Prix as a home favorite, local boy, and he's 9th on the grid, 3 places behind his teammate Esteban Ocon. Also, just to update you that in support of Mexico's recent earthquake victims, there was a minute silence by all the drivers and spectators on the grid. This is your host Naresh from Autocars India, bringing you live action for Mexican Grand Prix. Please do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on the right bottom corner of your screens. As we are just few minutes away from the starting of this race, we are looking forward for a great weekend here. It's about 1 minute to go for the drivers to start the formation lap. This is round 18 of Mexican Grand Prix, with first Grand Prix 1963, 3 sectors in this race. "17 turns, elevation change of 2.5 meters. However, this is 2.5 kilometers above the sea level. 2 DRS detection zones here, high speed corners. We have 4 minutes to start for this race. As all the drivers getting strapped in their cars, seat belts fastened, all concentration which is required for the first corner. There are all the probabilities to have Singapore-like start. To give you the starting grid once again, Sebastian Vettel starts on pole alongside Max Verstappen of Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton starts third alongside Valtteri Bottas in 4th position. Kimi Raikkonen 5th position alongside Esteban Ocon 6th. Nico Hülkenberg starts 7th for Renault alongside his teammate. Carlos Sainz starts 8th. 9th Sergio Perez for Force India. Alongside with him Felipe Massa 10th for Williams. Another Williams 11th. Lance Stroll, Marcus Ericsson, Sauber starts 12th. Pascal Wehrlein starts 13th for Sauber. Haas Kevin Magnussen 4th. 15th Roman Grosjean for Haas with 20 place grid penalty. Daniel Ricciardo starts 16th. Brendan Hartley, another 20 place penalty. Toro Rosso starts 17th. Fernando Alonso 20 place penalty too, starts 18th. 35 place penalty for Stoffel Vandoorne, starts 19th. Pierre Gasly starts 20th with 20 place penalty. We have 2 minutes to go for the start of the formation lap here. We are looking forward for a great weekend in Mexico. It's not too far when we saw Singapore Grand Prix where Vettel started on the pole and he was taken out in very first corner by Kimi Räikkönen and Max Verstappen. I'm sure Sebastian Vettel would not like to repeat the same feat, and he'll be extra cautious to come out clean in the first corner, where the first corner is having a distance away, almost 900 meters away from the start finish line. As the tire blankets started coming out, all the drivers are getting ready. Mechanics are clearing the cars now. We are all set for a great weekend coming across to us. Sebastian Vettel will lead the grid in the formation lap as clock struck 1, and we have the formation lap going for this race. Lewis Hamilton can wrap the title if he finishes 5th or above, no matter what other drivers do. As far as the start of the tires are concerned, Roman Grosjean and Fernando Alonso has opted for super soft. Everyone else is on the ultra soft tires. Hamilton is clear in the championship with 331 points and should be able to wrap up the title in this race. As the drivers are bringing their cars around the stadium section, we are all set for a great 18th round of 2017 Formula One Championship to get away. Sebastian Vettel is leading the pack as the adrenaline is kicking in for 17 corners, which cannot calm the heart rate of all the drivers. As Sebastian Vettel brings his car to halt in the box and waiting for the other cars to line up. We are all set. Let's see if history awaits us today as Vettel leads the field onto the starting straight as the last car comes in the box for Pierre Gasly. We are all set. 5 red lights, 3, 4, 5, and they go off. Mexican Grand Prix gets underway. Sebastian Vettel has a great start. Lewis Hamilton following him. He also has a clean start where Kimi Räikkönen is punching him on the side and Max Verstappen comes on the side. There are 4 cars side by side. Both the Mercedes on the side, Lewis Hamilton on the side. However, and Max Verstappen takes the lead of the race. He has cleared Sebastian Vettel, and Sebastian Vettel doesn't want to take a chance, and there is a collision between Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. There is a collision, surely. Front wind was flowing across. And Lewis Hamilton has had a chance and he is slowing down. So this is what was the drama we were talking about. Lewis Hamilton had everything to lose and looks like he has lost it. He is just coming behind in the race pack. Vettel and Hamilton has collided. Lewis Hamilton has been told to fox in this lap. There is a drama going across in this race now. Vettel is already in the third place. Max Verstappen is leading. He's managed to come out front. Bottas is in second position. Both the Renaults in fourth and fifth position here. So what a start for Mexican Grand Prix, as Sebastian Vettel also comes in the pits, gets his nose changed, and he comes back on the track, whereas Lewis Hamilton will be also falling in the pits and he comes across. Let's see what Lewis Hamilton is going to. Yes, he has a tire change. New tire goes. They are going to check the damage to the rear wing. They find it clean. Lewis Hamilton is back on the track. What a drama right at the beginning. Hamilton shouting he has a flat tire. Kimi Räikkönen is already dropped down to 9th position now. What a drama right at the beginning when two main championship contenders have collided with each other, and luckily both of them were not retired and they had to come back in the pits to change the wings. And Daniel Ricciardo is making a progress. Daniel Ricciardo already up in 8th place now. Three laps over, Verstappen leads the field with Valtteri Bottas second, Esteban Ocon in third, and Max Verstappen is really pulling up. Esteban Ocon is the third position, Hülkenberg fourth, Sergio Perez fifth. Sainz, due to some reason, also been included in this and probably has a flat spot. He's got his tires changed and he's in 19th position. Sebastian Vettel is having 10 seconds gap between him and Lewis Hamilton now. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race. And now Massa goes for pit stop. As we go to the fourth lap, Sebastian Vettel trying to recover from the collision which he had with Lewis Hamilton. He is finding himself in 18th position. Lewis Hamilton is the last on the grid with 20th position. It will be interesting to see whose fault was it, because both of them could have come clean. However, this was triggered by Max Verstappen, who squeezed Sebastian Vettel for the space, and reason of that they got collided. Vettel has misjudged the movement by Lewis Hamilton, who was coming side by side and he was trying to take the race lead. However, Sebastian Vettel came to the side on the left side of the track and he hit Lewis Hamilton from behind and clipping his tire on the left. So all kind of mix up happening in the start of the race, and Daniel Ricciardo is coming to the pits. And this is race over for Daniel Ricciardo. He had got the new engine, and with this Daniel Ricciardo still not able to come up from the issue he has, and he has retired the car. Lap 7 in progress. Max Verstappen leads the pack with Valtteri Bottas in second position with healthy gap of 3.5 seconds above. Esteban Ocon of Force India in third. Nico Hülkenberg fourth. Sergio Perez Force India fifth. Sixth Kimi Raikkonen Ferrari. Lance Stroll seventh. Kevin Magnussen Haas eighth. Marcus Ericsson ninth. Stoffel Van Doom 10th. Roman Grosjean 11th. 12th Alonso 13th. Hartley, Gasly 14th, 15th Massa, Vettel 16th, Verlaine 17th, 18th Carlos Sainz, and Lewis Hamilton last. Championship leader and driver who is supposed to wrap up the driver championship here finds himself last on the grid with Daniel Ricciardo out. Ricciardo becomes the first retirement here. Esteban Ocon is looking strong to get his first podium of this year. It looks to be strong. However, Kimi Räikkönen is behind and he's not going to leave them so easy as he's catching up with Sergio Perez. Good job for McLaren as they bring both their McLaren in 10th and 11th position. And remember, McLaren has a good pace in this race coming around. Turn 2 and 3 incident is being investigated between Vettel, Verstappen and Hamilton. As we go to lap 10 of 71, Verstappen leads, Bottas second, Esteban Ocon in third position. So stewards have officially noted the incident between Vettel, Verstappen and Hamilton at the start. That means they could investigate if it is deemed necessary later in the race. As Kimi Räikkönen lines up his car for Sergio Perez, Sebastian Vettel is behind Felipe Massa. And Vettel tries to overtake Felipe Massa. He's right on his tail. And Fernando Alonso here overtakes Haas. He goes to 11th position. And as we go to lap 12 of the race, the conspiracy rumors have started as Lewis Hamilton was asking on the radio for did he hit me deliberately, and he was meaning contact with Vettel. Mercedes has responded to him, not sure Lewis. So Lewis needs to concentrate more on the race now. With Perez making a good way up to P5. Though Räikkönen is right behind his tail. In the meantime, stewards have decided not to investigate the first lap incident, which has involved Vettel, Verstappen and Hamilton. as Sebastian Vettel still tries to get past Felipe Massa for 15th position. And this time around, Sebastian Vettel gets along Felipe Massa and overtakes, where Felipe Massa pushes him out of the circuit line. He manages to keep it on track, and Sebastian Vettel finally manages to get past Felipe Massa for 15th position. Grosjean is under investigation, where he tried to push Alonso and later on cut the corner. In the meantime, Vettel is reporting the incident with Felipe Massa, where he feels Massa has pushed him to the side. This is confirmed that Felipe Massa and Sainz had to pit early because of the slow puncture which they had due to flat spots. Probably due to the debris which came across from Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel cars in the lap 1 accident. Sergio Perez, in the meantime, is in 5th position, and Lewis Hamilton is in 19th position. He's last on the grid, and he's catching up now Carlos Sainz, who is in 18th position. In the meantime, Raikkonen is now catching up Perez for 6th position, 5th position now. As Max Verstappen leading the pack and is extending his lead. He is now 5.5 seconds clear of Max Verstappen of Valtteri Bottas. And here 5-second time penalty has been given for Romain Grosjean, leaving the track and gaining an advantage during his incident with Fernando Alonso. Both the McLarens pretty strong, Van Dome and Alonso in 10th and 11th positions, as Stoffel Van Dome gets close to Marcus Ericsson of Sauber, fighting for 9th position. And Kimi Räikkönen now ever closer to Sergio Perez, fighting for 5th position. Max Verstappen in the meantime sets up another faster lap of the race, 1:20.997. As Sebastian Vettel gets his car behind Pierre Gasly for 14th position. This time around, he goes alongside Pierre Gasly and makes it easy to stick this move. Vettel moves to 14th position. Lewis Hamilton still finds himself bottom of the grid. Who could have thought Lewis Hamilton in the back of the grid? And he still has to overtake Carlos Sainz for 18th position. Max Verstappen sets another faster lap of the race, 1:20.989, lap 17. As Vettel moves to 14th position. Next up, Roman Grosjean. As Max Verstappen is now extending his lead to almost 6 seconds with Valtteri Bottas second and Esteban Ocon third position. Nico Hülkenberg in fourth, Sergio Perez fifth, Kimi Räikkönen just behind Sergio Perez in sixth position. Vettel is closing up to Roman Grosjean. He's right behind the tail of Roman Grosjean now in lap number 18. And he would like to overtake him as soon as possible, Sebastian Vettel. This time around, yes, Vettel on the start-stop finish, and he overtakes Roman Grosjean quite comfortably. Moves to 13th position. In the meantime, Bottas sets the fastest lap of the race now in lap number 19. And for Vettel, if he has to take the championship battle to Brazil, he has to finish inside the top two. As we go to lap number 19 of 71, Verstappen leads comfortably to Bottas, Ocon in third position, Hülkenberg, Räikkönen, Stroll, Magnussen, Perez, Ericsson and Alonso completing the top 10. Alonso has just overtaken Stoffel Vandoorne. Nico Hulkenberg comes for the pit stop, change of tires. He was in 4th position, 2.7 seconds stationary, 22.6 seconds in the pits. Comes back and joins on track in 7th position, behind Kevin Magnussen of Haas. In the meantime, Sergio Perez also pulls it into the pits for a fresh tire, and he's been fitted with soft tires and returns to P8. Carlos Sainz in the meantime still holding on Lewis Hamilton. And for some reason, Lewis Hamilton is not able to overtake Carlos Sainz. And it's not going to be easy also, as Renault has shown a great pace during the qualifying and the practice sessions. And in the meantime, blue flag has been given to Lewis Hamilton as race leader Max Verstappen comes behind him. And Max Verstappen overtakes Lewis Hamilton. What a pity Lewis Hamilton is being blue flagged by Max Verstappen. He cannot have a bad championship point like this. Lewis Hamilton definitely not finding comfortable in his car. As this time around, Max Verstappen should be lapping down Carlos Sainz, who is shown the blue flags. In the meantime, another place gained by Sebastian Vettel as he overtakes the Toro Rosso. Max Verstappen is yet to make the pit stop. He's leading comfortably. Bottas second, Kimi Räikkönen in third position. Lance Stroll fourth, Esteban Ocon fifth, Kevin Magnussen sixth, Hülkenberg, Perez, Ericsson and Alonso completing the top 10 with Sebastian Vettel already in 11th position now. Vettel seems good to gain the positions here. As Lewis Hamilton still finds himself last on the grid and he's not able to overtake Carlos Sainz in Renault. We are in lap number 25 of 71. Almost 1/3 of the race is over and Max Verstappen is comfortably leading this Mexican Grand Prix from Valtteri Bottas, who is 6 seconds behind him. Further down is Kimi Räikkönen in third position. Way down the order, this time around Bottas overtakes Lewis Hamilton. What a pity for Lewis Hamilton, the championship leader and looking to wrap up the championship here, is finding himself last on the grid and he's being lapped by the leaders. And in the meantime, Hülkenberg is out of the race. Nico Hülkenberg, another retirement for him. He's out of the race. In the meantime, Max Verstappen sets a fastest lap of the race, 1:28.48. As team reports to Hülkenberg, the car is not safe. He needs to come out quickly of the car. In the meantime, Vettel has climbed to 10th position and he's now right behind Fernando Alonso. Will Alonso give him position so easily? Time will tell. As Alonso has always been the tough nut to crack. As Alonso is on the super soft tires and he will be going long way, so do not see a much battle, but you never know, as he will never like to give the places so easily, Fernando Alonso. And Alonso is also chasing Marcus Ericsson of Sauber. He's behind him, so battle for 8th position is on. So drivers out, Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo. Meanwhile, back with Lewis Hamilton, who is chasing Pascal Wehrlein. As Sainz has gone for change of tires, Lewis Hamilton finds himself behind Pascal Wehrlein, which he should be overtaking pretty quickly. Let's see how fast he can do that. Sebastian Vettel still not able to overtake Fernando Alonso. Alonso holds on to 8th position. Alonso 8th, Vettel 9th, Van Doven 10th position. And this time around, Lewis Hamilton manages to overtake Pascal Wehrlein pretty easily and goes to 16th position. And this time around, Perez has a lunge on Kevin Magnussen and he overtakes him. So 5th and 6th Force India as Nico Hülkenberg comes back to the paddock area. And finally Sebastian Vettel, he gets past Fernando Alonso. Verstappen leads Mexican Grand Prix, 13 laps out of 71. And this time Brendan Hartley. One more time, engine failed for him. And another Renault with engine failure, and he literally gets the fire in his car. In the meantime, Max Verstappen gets a pit stop, goes on super soft tires. Stoffel Van Dorn also comes for pit stop. Pierre Gasly also comes for pits, and Lewis Hamilton into the pits has his tire change. Very smooth pit stop for Lewis Hamilton as the virtual safety car is in because of Pierre Gasly. Vettel is still staying out. Kimi Räikkönen came for the pit stop. Carlos Sainz also in for the pit stop, change of tires. Everybody making use of the virtual safety car period due to Pierre Gasly car. It has surely helped Kimi Räikkönen, who did not make the pit stop as of now, and he is able to do it. As Valtteri Bottas also changes to super soft tire, Max Verstappen leads the race with 7.5 second gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Räikkönen has got the advantage of virtual safety car period as he was due for pit stop and he was extending his pit stop and finally gets over in the lean period. As Lewis Hamilton has joined back in 16th position, and behind Roman Grosjean now for Haas. Alonso is in 9th position, Vettel 8th. Top 10, Verstappen, Bottas, Raikkonen, Ocon, Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen, Sebastian Vettel, Alonso and Felipe Massa. In the meantime, Sergio Perez is catching up Lance Stroll. As the battle between Roman Grosjean in Haas and Lewis Hamilton gets on. Lewis Hamilton is just behind Roman Grosjean and is in 16th position. Sebastian Vettel in the meantime sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 20.116 seconds. This time around, Lewis Hamilton makes it with ease, and in the meantime, new lap record has been set by Sebastian Vettel, Ferrari 120.116. Lewis Hamilton in 15th position. In midfield battle, Van Dorn in 11th, Marcus Ericsson Sauber 12th, Pierre Gasly, Toro Rosso 13th, Pascal Wehrlein 14th, 15th Lewis Hamilton, 16th Roman Grosjean, Carlos Sainz last on the grid, 17th. As Sebastian Vettel chases next, Kevin Magnussen. In the meantime, Max Verstappen sets a new race lap record, 1 minute 19.582 seconds, as he leads the race with 9 seconds gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. We are in lap 37 of 71. As first lap incident has become too heavy on Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, where Lewis Hamilton will never like to win the championship like this, staying back of the grid, which looks to be likely at this position because Sebastian Vettel has to finish second or above in case he wants to take the championship battle to Brazil. As Lewis Hamilton gains the position and he goes 14th. And looks to be it's going to be Lewis Hamilton wrapping up the championship, because very unlikely Sebastian Vettel is going to get the second position, as he's almost a lap down on Valtteri Bottas. But this will a great pity for Lewis Hamilton to win the championship, wrapping up the championship in such a way where he is in the last, almost last on the grid. In the meantime, Max Verstappen is flying. He's extended his lead to 10.6 seconds here, and he's just lapped down one of the McLarens. As Verstappen extends his lead to 12 seconds. Raikkonen in third position, Valtteri Bottas in second position, Esteban Ocon, if he finishes this position in fourth, this will be his best finish in Formula 1. Lance Stroll in fifth position for Williams, Sergio Perez in sixth, Sebastian Vettel now in seventh position, Kevin Magnussen in eighth, Fernando Alonso ninth, Felipe Massa last point scoring position in 10th, as Hamilton chases Pierre Gasly. As we go to lap 41, Verstappen leads comfortably, 13 seconds gap between him and Bottas. Kimi Raikkonen third, Esteban Ocon Force India, probably the best finish he can achieve here. In fourth position, Lance Stroll fifth, Sergio Perez sixth, Sebastian Vettel seventh, eighth, Kevin Magnussen, Alonso ninth, and Massa completing the top 10. As lap 42 gets over of 71, Max Verstappen leads, and already they are able to lap down cars till position 9. Alonso has just been lapped down by Max Verstappen. And in the meantime, on the radio, jokes going around from Max Verstappen as he's enjoying the race, as he's increased his lead over Bottas to 12.3 seconds, and Red Bull mechanics telling him that he is going faster than what is required. He only needs to match the pace of Bottas, whereas in a joking mood, he replies back to his team saying, "All right, son, I'll take it easy." Very cheeky. As Sebastian Vettel moves to 7th position, and he is going to chase Sergio Perez now. Lap 44, Max Verstappen extends his lead to 14.2 seconds. As another faster lap set by Max Verstappen in this race. Kevin Magnussen this time around has been lapped down, with Max Verstappen leading, Bottas second, Kimi Raikkonen third, Esteban Ocon fourth, Lance Stroll fifth, Sergio Perez sixth, Sebastian Vettel 7th, Kevin Magnussen 8th, 9th Alonso, 10th Massa, completing the top 10. Hamilton behind Marcus Ericsson now, and this time he should be able to overtake him comfortably in sector 2. Vettel is gaining by almost 1.5 seconds every lap. So he should be catching up Perez quite quickly, as he has 6 seconds gap between him and Perez. As Lewis Hamilton tries to get his car right behind Marcus Ericsson, lining up in the stadium section before the start-finish straight to have a go on Ericsson. As Lewis Hamilton straight past Marcus Ericsson and moves himself to 12th position now. It doesn't seem to be that this battle is going to go to Brazil, as Sebastian Vettel, no matter what, doesn't seem to be that he will be able to match up Valtteri Bottas, and he needs to finish second or above if he has to get this championship battle to Brazil. Looks like championship battle will be getting over in Mexico to Lewis Hamilton. Whereas Lewis Hamilton would not be happy to wrap up in this way, but that's the destiny. As Sebastian Vettel now 3.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez, fighting for 6th position. Lap number 41, Verstappen leads comfortably, 14-second gap between him and Bottas in 2nd position. 3rd, Kimi Raikkonen, Esteban Ocon 4th, Lance Stroll 5th, Sergio Perez, local boy in 6th position, Sebastian Vettel in 7th, Kevin Magnussen 8th, Alonso 9th, and Massa finishes top 10. As lap 50 gets underway, Max Verstappen leading the pack with 14.5 second gap between him and second position Valtteri Bottas. Speeds in excess of 360 kilometers, the fastest man, Sebastian Vettel here on the track with Hamilton 361 km per hour. As Sebastian Vettel chases Sergio Perez on the fastest straight and the longest straight of the circuit, speeds in excess of 360 km per hour. And this time around, Vettel perfectly overtakes Sergio Perez and he goes to 6th position now. Next man, Lance Stroll. He has 20 laps to do and he needs to overtake Valtteri Bottas, which is very unlikely he will be able to do it, but he's catching up the positions thick and fast. Perez, as he was overtaken, he comes to the pits. As he gets to pink wall ultra soft tires, he has the time to do that, as he has fair bit of difference between him and Magnussen, and he comes out comfortably in front. Hamilton is in 12th place. Now he's chasing Stoffel Vandoorne. As Hamilton lines up to overtake Stoffel Vandoorne, which should not be a difficult task for him, as McLarens are slow in straight line speed by almost a difference of 20 km per hour. Lewis Hamilton gets ever closer to Stoffel Vandoorne here. It will be consolation for Lewis Hamilton if he is able to get the car in points position, which looks likely as he chases Stoffel Vandoorne. And he does it this time around. Very easily he overtakes Stoffel Vandoorne. He did not give any kind of resistance to Stoffel Vandoorne. Next up, Felipe Massa. as Sebastian Vettel, now within 1 second of Lance Stroll. In the meantime, Max Verstappen extends his lead to 17.3 seconds to Valtteri Bottas. Lap number 54 in progress. And Vettel makes a move on start finish line, longer straight, turn number 1, and overtakes Lance Stroll. Moves up to 5th position. As Hamilton gets up to 11th position. As Lewis Hamilton gets behind Felipe Massa this time around, so he should be in the points table. Has 3 retirements from the race: Brendan Hartley, Toro Rosso, Nico Hülkenberg, Renault, Daniel Ricciardo, Renault, Red Bull Renault are out. We are in lap 56, new lap record now set by Sebastian Vettel, 1:19.516. Whereas Max Verstappen comfortably in the lead with 17 seconds from Bottas. Kimi Räikkönen 3rd position, 4th Esteban Ocon. Lance Stroll has just been overtaken by Vettel. So Vettel in 5th position, Lance Stroll 6th, Sergio Perez 7th, Magnussen 8th, Alonso 9th, Felipe Massa 10th. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton confirms with his engineers, will it be possible for Sebastian Vettel to get P2? They said no, it's not possible, and which is very likely. So Lewis Hamilton is going to wrap up the championship. However, as of now, he wants to get into the time, to the points table, and as he's chasing Felipe Massa for 10th position. And he looked to be doing in this lap around, and he does it comfortably. So Lewis Hamilton in points table, and this will be surely a consolation, winning a championship, at least finishing in points. In the meantime, Marcus Ericsson comes to the pits. And Sebastian Vettel, meanwhile, he is behind Esteban Ocon and he's going to make a move this time around, Sebastian Vettel, and does it comfortably. Sebastian Vettel moves to 4th position. In the meantime, Marcus Ericsson has also his engine trouble. He's out of the car. Joins the list of retirees from the race is Marcus Ericsson. Hamilton, next target will be Fernando Alonso. To get the 9th place from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is 2.5 seconds behind Fernando Alonso, who is chasing now Kevin Magnussen. As Vettel checks up what is required, he says P2. Vettel says, oh, that's not possible. As Lewis Hamilton gets behind Fernando Alonso, who is behind Haas Kevin Magnussen. So looks to be all set for Lewis Hamilton to wrap up the driver championship here in Mexico with 10 laps to go. Sebastian Vettel now in 4th place. Looks to be too much of ask for him to catch up Kimi Räikkönen, who is 23 seconds ahead. In the meantime, Carlos Sainz, he retires his car now. Another Renault car retirement. With the Carlos Sainz retiring, going into the pits, it leaves only 2 Renault power engine cars on the grid on the racetrack, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. All the Renault power engine cars have retired. As Lewis Hamilton gets behind Fernando Alonso, battle for 8th. Magnussen, Alonso and Hamilton fighting for this position. Max Verstappen has huge advantage of 18 seconds over Valtteri Bottas. In the meantime, Fernando Alonso tries to overtake Kevin Magnussen, who defends well. In the meantime, driver championship, Michael Schumacher is the only driver with 7 driver championship, Fangio with 5, Alain Prost and Sebastian Vettel are 4 driver championships. So Lewis Hamilton will be joining the elite club of 4 championships of Alain Prost and Sebastian Vettel. As Lewis Hamilton gets behind Fernando Alonso, who is in turn is behind Kevin Magnussen for fighting for 8th position. As positions get almost settled, Verstappen is leading lap number 66 from Bottas with 18.5 second gap. Raikkonen in 3rd position, Vettel in 4th position, Esteban Ocon strong 5th position, Lance Stroll 6th, Perez 7th, Kevin Magnussen 8th, Alonso 9th, Hamilton 10th. Position battle for 8th position is going on as Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, and he now overtakes the record for the new fastest lap on this racetrack, 1:18.892, as Lewis Hamilton is right behind Fernando Alonso this time around. And Fernando Alonso, he defends the position, he doesn't give away so quickly, as Lewis Hamilton frustration develops even further. But he won't be able to hold for a long Fernando Alonso, this Mercedes power car. As this time around, Lewis Hamilton is ever closer just behind the tail of Fernando Alonso, who's not going to give the position so easily. Hamilton should be getting the chance next time when he's on the start straight. As Lewis Hamilton this time around again gets behind Fernando Alonso as they come around the stadium section, and this should be pretty easy this time around for Fernando Alonso to be overtaken by Lewis Hamilton. Battle for 8th still on as Kevin Magnussen is able to pull on from Fernando Alonso out of the DRS zone. Lewis Hamilton still behind Fernando Alonso. This time around in the start-finish straight, Lewis Hamilton is going to give it a try once again. Let's see how Fernando Alonso is able to defend his position. It will be difficult as straight line speeds for McLaren is not so great as he tries. And will Fernando Alonso be able to do it? Yes, he managed side by side for McLaren. Fernando Alonso, he manages to keep his position. It's not over yet, but he will get another DRS zone, and this time around once again Fernando Alonso managed to get the car in front, but it's too fast for Lewis Hamilton. Brilliant stuff from Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. as Fernando Alonso gives a try once again. Great fight between them. Two-time world champion, three-time world champion. Lewis Hamilton going to get his fourth today. Hamilton is up in 9th position now. As Sebastian Vettel in 4th position, and he will settle down for 4th position as Lewis Hamilton gets settled down for championship title here. As Sebastian Vettel gets a consolation with fastest lap in lap 70. And this time around, Max Verstappen, lap 71 of 71, comes around. He has had all the hard work and now it is reaping the benefits. And he gets all set for getting the first place as he comes around the stadium section. Max Verstappen had the race today. Max Verstappen wins the Mexico Grand Prix. He's over 20 seconds ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton in the meantime just behind Kevin Magnussen. Let's see whether he is able to overtake for 8th position here. And still Lewis Hamilton wants to get that position as he comes around the section area. And he comes around start finish straight. Will he be able to do it? No, he still finishes 9th and he wins the driver championship. Lewis Hamilton is the 4-time world champion. as Lewis Hamilton wins the driver championship for 4th time. What a great show by Lewis Hamilton this year. Valtteri Bottas finished 2nd, Kimi Räikkönen 3rd, Vettel 4th, Ocon 5th, Stroll 6th, 7th, Perez, Kevin Magnussen 8th, Hamilton 9th, Fernando Alonso completing top 10. With this, I will conclude this live commentary from Autocars India. Congratulations to Lewis Hamilton to win the Drivers' World Championship and Max Verstappen to win this race. Look forward to see you in 2 weeks' time in Brazil. Goodbye, take care.